Hey, Justin.
Hey, Rob.
Hey, Nick.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Justin.
Did I screw that up?
What's up?
This is a, what do you call it? A bonus episode?
Bonus crossover?
Yep. It's not really a crossover. We just put a couple hosers from around the globe.
Crossover extraordinaire extravaganza.
Yeah, but this is bonus, as in not an NES game, and, well, sort of. I guess it kind of is an NES game. We're going to talk about Shovel Knight tonight.
Ooh.
Shovel Knight tonight.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's actually a song I have in the works. It's Shovel Knight tonight.
Can you feel the love tonight, Shovel Knight?
Tonight, Shovel
Ooh,
Knight.
little Smashing Pumpkin. That's it.
There you go.
It's actually the Shoveling Pumpkins. It's the cover band. You know?
Ooh.
They just tweak it a little bit. Anyways, all right. So we don't have a format. We're just going to talk about it. I don't know.
I like it. Let's free flow,
Can't
baby.
That's right. You can't really do retrofitted trophies. And my quest for the card includes no cart and a download code. So
Hey, you could save it to an SD card and say you found an SD card.
That's true.
Well, yeah, I didn't get it on that.
There you
I
go.
got Wii U though. Wii U. So
Oh, I
could
see.
put it on-
Yeah.
A
I'm
quest
sorry.
to finding out about it, maybe like Michael's quest to learn about Shovel Knight, to go to download it, to playing it.
there you go. The quest to hear about Kickstarter, to then donate money to said.
Is that when you
Kickstarter.
first heard about Shovel Knight? Kickstarter?
I did actually. Yeah.
And
Did you
are
donate
you a
money?
backer?
Did
I
you
was a
donate
backer? I did.
Oh, so
What?
you're better
I was a
than me.
backer.
So you're better
Are
than
you
me.
not a backer? Oh.
I was not a backer. I got on the Shovel Knight train after. I can't remember when I first heard about it. I think it was like a month or two before its release.
Yeah,
I was like
see,
super genuinely excited.
This was supposed to be a backer only podcast.
Well,
Right.
see, Rob can't back because he's being backed, right?
When you're a creator, you don't need to be a backer.
There you go.
I see how it is.
He's donating his talents to Kickstarter.
Consider this me backing you. How about that?
Okay, all right. So that'll be $25.
Worth of my time.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. I guess we can do history. Does anybody know where this game came from? All I know is it's Kickstarter.
Yacht
It came
Club
from-
game.
Yeah, Yacht Club Games and Way Forward.
Way forward.
Is also way behind it, this is their first game that they developed, which is cool. Their Way Forward is also behind DuckTales HD
Yep.
and a
Yeah,
new
yeah.
TMNT game that's coming out. I think it's called Dangers of the Ooze. It's very Metroidvania-like.
Yeah, very excited.
I'm pretty excited about that one. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Way Forward. They've done some really awesome games in the kind of the retro mindset. They did a real cool game that was overlooked. Thor for DS, not 3DS. They did the one for DS, which is really good. I thought they did Contra 4 on the DS, which I thought was great too, and Alien Infestation on the DS. A lot of good DS games they did. So I'm a big fan of Way Forward.
Yeah, I just started playing that Alien game on the plane. It's not too bad. Not too bad, Way Forward. And they just did a Kickstarter for Shantae.
Yeah.
Yes, Shantae.
That just came out. Yeah,
I
which is
backed
obviously.
that one as well.
Yeah, and my
I know who I'm going for my next project.
Mike is just trying to show how much better he is than all of us.
Hey, but I tell you one thing. One thing I did not back, and I'm probably going to get a couple evil looks on this podcast, is I did not back the Nintendo Quest.
Oh. Hey Rob, I backed it.
I remember seeing your name in the end credits when I credited all the people.
Ooh.
I didn't.
I
I really didn't know about it. So
We all have
Somebody-
regrets we have to live with.
somebody didn't do a good job of getting the word out to me because I did not find out about it.
I blame NBC when they covered our story. Or was it CBS? It could be Playboy. Or was it CBC? I don't know. Yeah, those publications always do a horrible job.
I don't. I don't subscribe to those heathen magazines.
You're right. Mainstream
And those-
hipster rubbish.
And those heathen television shows. Like the news.
I understand. I get it. We rarely post on Facebook as well.
I didn't know. I wasn't. I don't know.
It's okay. When we hit people up for when we hit people up for the sake of wanting to hang out again for another summer, another quest, we'll come right to you.
Ooh.
You got it.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I'll get
So,
you
Shovel Knight.
I'll get you twice.
Twice. Bet. I'm holding you to it.
Yeah.
50
so
cents.
Shovel Knight. I forgot
Back
my
to
notes.
Shovel Knight.
I forgot my notes. I'm back. You guys keep talking.
All right,
Notes.
so we'll talk amongst yourself. Notes. I thought this was a free form. I asked if there's prep. No prep. Now we got notes.
He's a liar.
Hey, there's another Way Forward game. I was kind of shocked. I bought my son the Adventure Time. Hey, Ice King, why'd you steal our garbage? And
Okay.
Way Forward made that game, and it's actually in the vein of like Zelda 2. I know Jay's a big fan of that, so he might actually like that. It's got the overworld. When you go into a dungeon, it goes to a 2D type game. Really good. I was kind of
Very
shocked.
cool.
I just kind of bought it for my son because he likes that show. And, started playing
And you
it.
just kind of stole it on him.
Yeah.
Out of the year.
Yep. He kind of wonders. He has one of those 2DSs, and he always finds it in my 3DS. So that's how that goes.
How do you like the 2DS? I'm a big fan of it. I got that instead of the 3DS. I enjoy it.
I definitely like the digital pad on it a lot better because I think I have the like the standard 3DS, not the XL, and the digital pad's in a weird spot. It clicks real funny. The 2DS I think has a better layout, but yeah, it's cool. It's definitely cool for him.
You got your notes now, Michael? Whenever you're ready. Oh my God.
It's a full page, baby.
It's a full page of research.
He likes this game.
Hey, I just take some notes while you play. So are we done with the history, Justin? It's historical. No, modern history tidbits.
Justin's historical and modern tidbits.
Yeah, I contributed so much,
Good job, Justin.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so do you guys all got it on the 3DS? Am I the only one that got it on the Wii U?
No, I only have it on the Wii U.
Okay, so Nick's he's the odd man out.
Yeah,
I
don't think-
because we have a question that pertains to that. When we get to that down the road, we'll actually be able to weigh in on both sides.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Justin, I think, is going to play the guy who's never played or does not have the game.
And you're gonna
Justin.
you're gonna try to convince me to play the game, right?
Oh,
Yeah, okay. Don't worry, we'll convince you because this is a pretty good game. Spoilers.
It's a pretty good game. It definitely is a good game.
yes.
All right, so let me just break out the notes here.
All one page.
It's actually like half a page and then some just drawings of stick figures shoveling up things.
Life's a garden.
Go stick.
Yeah.
2 dudes and a shovel.
Okay, so Shovel Knight. We're kind of doing it for this show. It's basically an NES game, or at least, if nothing else, much like our podcast, it's a love letter to the NES. As in, it's all heavily influenced by the NES. I made a list of things that I noticed it was influenced by. Let me just read off my list of things I noticed, and then you guys can add to or disagree, if you will.
I disagree with all. Just before you say it.
I concur, sir.
I haven't even started, but that's whatever. Mega Man, DuckTales.
So these are games that it has in
Games
common.
we reminded you.
Not specific aspects, just games that have similar feels.
Yeah, well, we can get into the specific aspects, but I'm just saying these are things I
No,
feel
I don't
like
want to dig too deep. Okay, so these are the games on the surface. Mega Man, DuckTales.
Faxanadu, Zelda 2, Super Mario Bros. 3, Castlevania 3, Mega Man X, Ninja Gaiden. Those are just a few that I found influences. We can get into specifics about it. I just want to, if you guys thought of any more, if you noticed any when you were playing it.
Yeah,
Ghosts and Goblins a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
You're talking like sound effects. There's a huge just anything Konami. A lot of the I don't know, like sometimes when flames come out of certain areas, like you can definitely hear a Konami sound, especially like a Contra type feel. So definitely just Konami games in general.
Yeah, I think Konami, Capcom stuff, a little bit of Wizards and Warriors feeling here and there, jumping around and stuff. but I think you really hit them on the head, the big ones, Michael.
Yeah, I like, for instance, on the Super Mario Bros. 3, the overworld is almost ripped straight from Super Mario Bros. 3.
Yeah.
Which is cool because that's one of the best parts about Super Mario Bros. 3. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, and I didn't realize that this game was going to be like that because I didn't come to the Kickstarter. I played it thinking it was going to be like DuckTales. So it's just like more like a 6-action, like secret area stuff. And then I finished the first level, as I'm sure hopefully you guys did, and you see like this overworld map. And it's like, whoa! And then the overworld map continues to expand, and it's like, what is this awesome world? And then we're treated to like Mega Man-like villains who are different kinds of knights in their respective stages, which is just awesome.
Yeah, and you mentioned the DuckTales. I mean, the big thing of the DuckTales there is he's got the pogo, basically. The same pogo thing that Scrooge McDuck has in DuckTales. And it works to as good, if not better, of a level than the DuckTales game. Of course, I know, Rob, from
well, let's not go to
podcast,
blasphemous territory.
You might be touching, you might be poking him on that one.
First he doesn't back my project, now he
just
takes the game's name in vain.
I'm just trying to prod the bear a little bit, try to make the podcast.
You're trying to pogo the bear at this point. What I did read an interview with the main director of this game, and he said that when they approached it, obviously they wanted to do like an NES nostalgia thing with all the games that you've mentioned. But they said they wanted to make it like as if the NES was still around today, so that there would be an evolution of some of the sound, an evolution of some of the graphics and the control and gameplay. Now, some of that might not be like totally apparent on the surface, but when you probably play through like most of the game, you'll notice that's a little bit more polished here and there. Some of the art goes a little bit beyond the 8-bit style here and there, and there's some layered stuff which you really didn't see back in the day. Do you guys approve of what they wanted to do, or do you think they should have been stuck to the limitations of the NES era?
I think they really hit the nail on the head, is what I think. I think they did where they went above the NES. I think they did it basically perfectly. I think they could have. I don't think they went too far. I think I'm glad they didn't stick strictly to the NES too, because I don't know. I mean, it is a modern game. I think it would have hit some walls if it would have tried to stick strictly to the NES hardware. But that's my thought.
Yeah, and like you said, Mike, it's like a love letter to those games. It stays within the boundaries of some of those mechanics. Like when you're in some of the water worlds, you definitely have that Mega Man feel when you're kind of weightless. A lot of the spikes kind of are the same as Mega Man. You hit them once, and you're dead. And this game also, to me, draws some inspiration for some more modern games like Dark Souls, Demon Souls. Like when you die, you kind of drop some of your loot and you lose some of it. And the more you die, the more loot you lose. I know in Demon Souls and Dark Souls, you kind of do the same thing with your health and stuff. So to me, it kind of drew from that as well. But I definitely am 100% behind games like this because they're not. To me, it's not trying to overshadow or do better than the old games. It's kind of paying homage to those. But I really enjoyed it. It was really neat, when you're scrolling from screen to screen, how it kind of pauses your character and you can kind of see him floating across the screen like Mega Man did. And I don't know, I'm a huge Mega Man fan, so that was real cool to see. But yeah, I love it. I love what they're trying to do. I hope they do more things like this.
Yeah, I think don't they call that they call it something like parallax scrolling or something. It's got a name.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Parallax is when you're walking and the whole background shifts. There's like a multi-planar kind of background shift between the three. But Mike or Nick, I think you're talking about when you jump and you hover in air as the whole scene shifts.
Yeah.
Oh, kind of like when you go. You're talking about like when you go through in Mega Man when you go through the door towards the boss and you can jump and it pauses your guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're like Matrix mode in the air as everything like flips around you.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I love how epic it is when you start a stage and he kind of jumps in and he holds his shovel up. It's like dun 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 dun.
It's shoveling time.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, it's really cool. I think they really kind of nailed the difficulty too, because it's not as hard as an NES game by any means. I think
and
you probably have beaten it then, Michael, because not all of us have.
Okay, well, let me take it back. It's not as difficult as an NES game until you get to the tower at the end, and then it starts getting pretty hard because I'm kind of stuck there.
That's where I am too. Okay, I don't feel so bad.
I haven't
beat
had
it.
the time to try to get past that part.
The 3DS version is for kids 5 and under.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I love the ending of it. I'm not going to spoil it, but the boss battles are great. And,
Cool. Yeah.
it's fantastic. I love there's a real cool just a mechanic at the end you guys will appreciate once you fight the end boss. It's really cool. Kind of changes up the whole feel of the boss battles.
Speaking of like platform dedication and stuff, just off the top of your head, and maybe this might fit better later on in the show. It doesn't matter. Would you guys like a sequel in the same vein, or would you like a Super Shovel Knight, like a 16-bit sequel?
Ooh, gosh, that'd be
question.
That'd be awesome.
If you could only have one, because let's say that this is an indie game and they may get to do a sequel, but they only have one shot.
I would say go with another one like this one. That's what I would say.
And I'm kind of on the other end of that. I'd like to see them do something a little different because I'd hate for another game to come and kind of overshadow this one and make this one less special. I always feel that way with sequels sometimes. You know what I mean? Make it a little bit. Maybe make the mechanics different. Kind of pay homage to other games. I don't know.
I think I'm on the same page as our esteemed colleague from Genesis Gems, where I would like to see something of the 16-bit variety, just to pay homage to that era. And kind of let this one sit on its own, but let's pay attention to some cool 16-bit games, either on the Super or Genesis side.
Are you talking another Shovel Knight in 16-bit, or just another game from these guys?
No, another Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight. So it's like going from Ghosts and Goblin to Ghouls and Ghosts, or Super Ghouls and Ghosts. You're going from Castlevania 3 to Super Castlevania. But let's say this is the only NES game that they put out. I would like to see something of the next evolution.
Yeah, throw in some beat 'em up type mechanics with maybe a Metroidvania type style. I don't know.
Well, let's not wreck the game, Nick. Come on.
You don't like beat? Oh, I love beat 'em ups. I think I'd really like to see him focus a little bit more on combat. I did love the platforming, but I felt maybe it could balance a little bit more of the combat. I don't know. Maybe
it was platform heavy. There weren't a whole lot of enemies other than the bosses that really did much. I mean, you basically every now and then you'd see one, you just hit him with your shovel, and that's the end of it. There's really not a whole lot of challenge in the battles, and there's really not a whole lot of enemies at all in the game.
The challenge in this game is not sweating too much so that the controller becomes slippery in your hand, because you're nail biting to get to these mini micro platformers as you keep going up and up and up, and they drop, and you see nothing but spikes and awkwardly timed floating enemies, and that's the difficulty: timing, precision, pacing, not the foes on screen.
Right. And I think it's something to be said. This game does not tell you how to play it. It's just again,
and it's awesome.
The NES. It doesn't tell you anything.
To that extent,
to figure it out.
To that extent, I totally messed up with the DuckTales thing, because in DuckTales you have to hold down and the jump button to do the pogo. In this, you just have to jump up and hold down, and you're doing it. There's no timing. So that really threw me off, and I really hated the game for the longest time, because I'm like, what the hell? But no, I have to love this. But no, I can't.
Yeah, I really screwed up, because I thought those little orbs were just special treasure power-ups. It took me 2 stages to realize they were checkpoints. And oh my gosh, no wonder it took me so long to beat these stages. But it's cool when you go back through and try to collect more loot. If you know the level real well and can get through it, you can just bust those things up, get tons of loot, and go on. Yeah. But it took me a while to realize, those are checkpoints.
Yeah, for those who haven't played the game, which there may be some out there, but sure, hopefully not. But anyways, there's the checkpoint system. Yeah, Justin. But the checkpoint system in this game, you can actually break the checkpoints and to get more loot. But if you break them, you get sent back to whatever the last checkpoint that you didn't break.
Yeah.
So you could potentially screw yourself out of any checkpoints in the level if you get greedy and want all the loot. But if you're good enough to beat the level without dying, then there you go. There's something along those lines, though, that kind of, if I'm going to have a con for the game, just to throw a con in there, I think they should have been a little more sparse with giving you money, because I didn't feel like I ever really needed to break the chambers, because I felt like I was always getting enough money.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there wasn't a ton of options to spend money on specific items that really did anything drastically different. I mean, you don't need to spend money to really get through this game.
Yeah, and all the power-ups, your suit and stuff, always kind of come with a draw. I know, some of them help you platform better, but you can kind of slide a little more when you run. some things like that. So it really wasn't anything over that much into the game.
Yeah, I just think I would like to have seen, give me a reason to want the money more than, and give me less money so that I have to try to do things like break those. If you're going to have a cool mechanic like breaking the checkpoints, give me a reason to really want to do it other than just to try to make the game more difficult and frustrate me, you know?
Now, Nick, I'm going to ask for a bit of a spoiler, and Michael, hopefully you won't mind. Nick, when you beat the game, do they make you go back through and beat all the other knights?
Yeah, so like that's the first part of the end. You got to beat every knight in one room, and every time you beat one, it gives you like a big turkey. So you do get to fill up your life, which I thought was pretty cool. It's a little easier. Some of the environments aren't the same as what you would in the previous castles or whatever, but it took me. I just got to that part today, and I probably died 10 times before I actually got through it. So.
I really don't want to have to fight that the knight in the cemetery again. I had a hard time with.
Oh really? See, that one was easy to me. The one that stunk for me is that huge, like that big, I don't know, tank-looking thing where you had to jump up on top of all those platforms just to get to it. I had the hardest time with that both times.
Yeah, I can't remember which one I had the most trouble with. It was either the water level one or the clock tower one, like Clockwork Knight or whatever. I can't remember,
yeah.
But yeah. It's funny how all of us had different enemies we didn't like as much, but I mean that really kind of shows you that you don't have to there's not one guy that's hard. It's all about strategy and how you come against it, but it's varied across the board, which is really cool.
Yeah, all the different boss knights, the battles with them are all very different in the way you have to approach it, which is really cool. I mean,
yeah,
and a lot of times, you know, like a Mega Man game or something, depending on the Mega Man game, you may it's the same strategy for everyone, like jump over their head and shoot them, or run underneath their legs and shoot them. It's the same thing. In this game, it's really, there's a different strategy for every boss, which is cool.
Yeah, and I kind of want to go back and do that again, because after you defeat them all, it gives you a choice of, because after you defeat them all, it shows them all hanging onto each other off of this platform, and it gives you a choice whether or not to like pull them up or just to go on to the main boss. And I helped them all up, and then I don't really know if it did anything different to my ending, so kind of wanted to go back and just kind of leave them behind and see what happens.
Go ahead.
After you beat all them, you have to go on to the Enchantress, of course. So.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it helps.
Have they implemented the New Game Plus yet? I know they were going to update it at some point with a New Game Plus.
So after I beat it and I got back from my, I tried to open up my previous save. It actually asks you, do you want to go do the Game Plus or continue from where you were? So I think once you do the Game Plus, it kind of erases all your stuff and starts that version of it. So yeah, I haven't hit yes yet. I'm kind of wondering if I can like duplicate my save and have one the Game Plus and one just to go back and collect, because even though I beat the game, I'm still missing like 6 power-ups. I didn't collect everything from every stage. So
this game also has speaking of collecting things, this game, it has collectibles that you can get, like music notes and what's the other thing?
All your the relics. The relics.
Yeah, there's a bunch of feats and stuff. Yeah.
So there's a lot to do in this game other than just beat it, which is another.
Yeah,
it's another kind of a modern thing. They didn't have that kind of stuff back in the NES days.
Yeah, because I mean, I beat the game and I've only earned 9 out of 45 of the feats, so like only 20%. So I got plenty to do after that.
Did you guys know that Shovel Knight's making an appearance in an upcoming game, like the character?
Really?
Which one?
He's coming. He's going to be part of a real-time strategy game called Hex Heroes.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming to iOS, Linux, Windows, and Wii U. And other characters are like from SteamWorld Dig. What's his name? Rusty, and then the guy from Guacameele's in it too.
Oh, love that guy.
Nice.
So it's basically
it's like a bunch of indie games.
Yeah, and you command the different units around in a real-time strategy way, but I thought that was really cool to discover that he's going to that. I would love to see more integration of Shovel Knight and that whole Shovel Knight universe and spin-off stuff like this.
Yeah, I mean the character and the world and the story, everything's like it's a good universe, and the universe and lore and the mythology. You can tell it's like this is what we want, but they didn't really skimp on the details, even though they could have been humorous and done that and really copied stuff for the sake of winking to fans. They really said, okay, this is what we want,
and they really invested a lot of cool things into it. You know, so I mean, props to them for making a world that's worthy of getting hooked on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed the dynamic with the Shield Knight, like how you have all those dream sequences where you'd have to kill.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Well, wait till you get to the end boss. That's what I mean. And I'll spoil it now if you want me to.
No, I don't want you to, because we want to give people a chance to watch this game and discover to the end. It's all about, you got to keep building this up.
Okay, well, it's good. Just yeah. The Shield Knight is definitely awesome. We'll just say that.
Like, every time you go to close your ears, you're just holding your earphones closer to your ears.
I want to hear the spoilers, please, louder.
No, I have buttons on the side. When I hit them like this, they just mute everything. Hey, for just special for tonight, check out these headphones.
Wii U.
Oh,
Mm.
I didn't know that they made a Wii U headphone sets. I didn't know that.
They do, but they're small and they don't really fit over my ears, so they kind of hurt. I think they're made for kids, but special night.
Special night. Shovel Knight.
Get it? Yeah.
See what he did there? You see what he did there? So what do you guys think of the name of the like the bosses, like the order of no quarter? I thought that was.
I love the name of the collective group of them.
Yeah.
The Order of No Quarter. I
thought that was sweet.
Yeah, that's good. Again, everything about what they did, calling the individual knights, and as soon as you catch on to that's what they're doing, you're like, okay, this is going to be that kind of level. And you're like, those are I hate those kind of levels. I hate the ice levels. Why does there have to be an ice level? You know.
Speaking of, what was one of your least favorite, or not least favorite, maybe most challenging levels?
It's the clockwork one, man, because it's like you keep climbing up and up, and you know you're going up that tower, but it's just that sense that you're getting so high that if you fall, it's like, oh god, you got to start again. I hate that, because there's the whole screen is nothing but an open pit, and you're platforming to get to the edge, to get to another edge, and sometimes those things drop, and sometimes they don't, and you don't know, but you've just got to keep that pace up and hope that nothing is a big detour for you or deters you from what you think is the right path. I hate it. I'm getting anxious thinking about it.
Yeah, I would probably agree with a close second being the one with the lava where you have to hit the green gel on it.
Yes,
and turn it into green bouncy goo, and then after a few seconds it goes away and it turns into lava again. That would probably be a close second.
Those mini side stages where you use the different power-ups, like the fist, and you've got to jump over and then fall down and then use the fist again to get across. And some of those got super frustrating. It kind of reminded me of the Battletoads race, second stage, where you really just got to know the level. You've really got to map it out.
Right. But I like that kind of stuff because it makes you use the powers in a unique way, you know.
Yeah, and I died. It was one of the second to last levels that they showed stats after you beat the game. I think I died 30 times in this one level, and it was where you had to platform across the I can't remember what they were, little floating things that would electrify you, and there was 4 of them, and only one would be available to do your little your shovel bounce thing on it, and I died probably 10 times in that one area, so it just drove me nuts. So.
But it's fun because when you die, it's not a big deal. You don't really.
I got mad.
It's not like.
I get frustrated thinking about it. I played a little bit before we started going on just to get back into that world, and the anxiety came back like that, and the frustration is god, here we go. Now I kind of know why I guess what I mean is,
I guess I know what I mean is, it's not, you don't have lives, and you can't run out of lives and have to start the whole game over again.
Yeah.
Like you would in, say, Super Mario Brothers 3 when you die or something, you have to start the whole game over again.
Yeah, you can run out of loot, though.
Yeah, but, I mean, I never did, so I don't know. I don't know what that's like. Must suck for you.
Easy Mario Kart cheat codes. Ooh.
You're just jealous of my skills at Mario Kart.
No, well, we all don't have the Game Genie for the Wii U.
Yeah, well, you gotta kickstart. You gotta be a backer.
Yeah. Honestly, Michael, a side note, while we were playing Mario Kart there, I forgot, in the middle of races, what controlled what. I forgot drifted, what used the items. I'm like, what is going on with my head? I was just so burnt out. I was playing, I'm like, I don't want to take my hands off the controller at all, because if I do, I'm going to die. So I was just, kind of guessing here and there.
I have
horrible.
a tendency to forget which flipper does which too. Like I'll go to slide and I'll accidentally shoot my shell.
Yes, exactly that kind of
I do
thing.
that
So
a
that
lot.
was I was
Did Rob-
constantly being plagued.
Did Rob showcase his pinpoint accuracy with a green turtle shell?
I did get some good ones off,
Oh.
but
Yeah,
it
I
was
think
mainly
I-
computer folks.
That was
Yeah.
rough.
I think he just mainly got the computer and car.
But you noticed by the last race, which I got first on, I was doing better because I was learning what controls did what again.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's cool. That was also after I switched off my main character. But just,
Oh, well, heaven forbid. Here we go.
Anyway,
back to Shovel.
Knight.
Back to Shovel Knight, yes. How long did it take you? How much time have you guys logged on Shovel Knight?
6 hours.
Yeah. 6 hours. Michael?
Probably about 4.5, maybe 5.
Damn it! Sorry, I don't know if that's swearing or not. Where I come from, it's not. But I'm like at 9 hours.
That's close enough.
That's close enough. Okay, sorry if somebody's editing this. I
We won't edit
apologize.
that.
No, we won't edit that. Yeah, I'm at like 9 hours. How am I like twice the amount of time? So game length, is it long enough for you guys, do you think? Is it short enough? Is it just right?
I think it's got a lot of replayability. I think I'll play it again.
Yeah.
So I think it's okay at where it is.
And game length just to be long is just stupid. I don't know. That's one of the big complaints of that new Aliens game, I guess. I heard rumors that it was really just like a short game, and I think Sega is the one that actually released it. I had heard, I don't know, it's probably not confirmed, that they demanded a longer game if it was a big AAA launch or title, and they just started throwing more junk in it. And everyone I've heard liked that game, so they loved the first 4 or 5 hours, and the rest of it was just awful.
Well,
So-
it's ironic because at E3 they said that was only like a 5-hour game, and I was fine with that. And then I find out that it's 20, and I
Yeah.
really don't care because I get it. Like if you're on a ship and there's an alien coming at you, then maybe that's what it takes to make that kind of happen. But if it's like the same thing, and we're not talking like RPG grinding for another 15 hours, then I think it's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, and I like I said, with my feats only being like 20-some%, there's plenty of playability. I mean, I think about like Skyrim. I beat that game, like the main story, in no time, but like my just being able to get through the world I was very low, and I had plenty to do after I beat the game. So I thought the time was perfect. This was definitely a game on the go for me for the 3DS. I downloaded it when I went on vacation, played it mostly there, and just finished it here in the past week. So it was perfect for me.
I think it's a little. Go ahead, Michael.
No, go ahead.
Okay, thank you.
He says it in huff and puff.
The burden of wearing the crown. I honestly think it's a little bit on the short side, but at least being on the short side, it really feels like the quality is at like a max. I don't feel like I'm not getting like ripped off at any point with every level. They're all consistently difficult in their own way. The world is well developed, like I said. The mythos is well developed. I really just want like maybe like 1 or 2 stages more.
Yeah, okay, I give you that. Now, I will say, though, that on their Kickstarter, when they were doing the Kickstarter, they had stretch goals, right? And there's a lot of stretch goals that have not been fulfilled yet. They haven't implemented into the game. So I anticipate there's going to be a lot more, or at least a few more updates to...
Well, what were some of the stretch goals?
To
Bring us
flesh
up
out.
to date.
Well, there's supposed to be a 4-player battle mode implemented in the game at some point.
Oh, choose your knight.
There's also supposed to be a gender swap mode, so that I guess you play as Shield Knight, perhaps. Challenge mode. Let's see, let me just pull up the list here. There's a lot of things.
Well, you did back the project. I just figured you would know this stuff.
Well, I did rattle off a few good ones without pulling up the list, did I not?
It's in your notes. You're not fooling us.
I was
The
impressed.
notes are a crutch.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, so playable boss knights. Let's see, at least 3 of them.
Cool.
4-player battle mode, gender swap mode, New Game Plus, which I think they've already implemented. Yeah, so
So that's
There's-
it. So you actually did name them all.
Wow.
yeah, except for the playable boss knights, I missed that one.
Right.
So there's still a few that have yet to be implemented. So there's still more game to come. So
Cool.
I think that's really awesome, and that may change my depending on how much they eventually release for this game. That may change my opinion on that whole 8-bit versus 16-bit thing you were talking about. Maybe I do want them to put a 16-bit game out.
Right.
After I see how fleshed out this game becomes.
I mean, you know, it's going to be a lot easier for them to do another like 8-bit one because they have all the art and all the assets already done, and it's just about them designing a level. Not that that's easy, but if they're doing something 16-bit, it's like starting again from scratch.
I would like to mention another Kickstarter game that I think just finished up. It looks really cool, and it's kind of an idea. It's similar to what you're talking about, moving from an 8-bit to 16-bit, but it does it all in one game. Have you seen?
Is this something? No, but is this something that you backed?
I did back it. Yes.
Okay, so I really am the odd one out here.
I may be the odd one. I may have been the only one that backed this. If nobody else has heard of the Adventures of Pip, then
I'm gonna bring it up right now because I think it sounds familiar, but I'm not.
Anyways,
claiming to it. That's all about the Adventures of Pip.
You collect pixels, right? And you start off as an 8-bit character, and as you collect pixels, you become a 16-bit character. And then you collect more, and you become a 32-bit character.
Well, that's kind of cool.
And like you can do more stuff as you become a higher bit character.
And at the end of the game, you're in 60 frames per second.
Yeah.
Better be 1080p or it doesn't count.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was cool. But anyways,
that sounds cool.
see, here's the thing.
This does
Rob.
look cool.
Here's the thing. Okay, if you would have done your Nintendo Quest thing like 6 months later, when I was actually learning, I didn't even really know much about Kickstarter until about 6 months ago. So, or well, maybe it's about a year.
So it's my fault. I just want to make sure that we're saying it's my fault.
What I'm trying to get to here is it's all your fault.
No.
I get it. I'm the villain. I get it. I'm used to that. Have you guys backed? I mean, Michael, obviously you've given a lot of games that you've backed here on Kickstarter. What do you guys think about the whole Kickstarter process to get games that we think are cool, versus like just accepting what they give us at GameStop or Best Buy or that kind of thing? Where's your preference?
Obviously, I love it myself, but having backed so many, I think it's a good way to. I don't know. It's kind of like, I guess it's kind of like a pre-order for indie people.
Yeah.
They don't really get that opportunity, so that's kind of how I see it.
Did you guys back the new 8-Bit Heroes by Joe Granato?
I did. Yep.
Nah, I was going to look into that. I don't really know much about it. I've heard you talk about it a few times, but I haven't really checked it out yet.
Yeah, what's cool is it's really the trifecta, Nick, and it's over and they've been successfully funded, so this isn't really a sales pitch, but they're creating, Joe Granato, who makes movies as well, designed an NES game when he was like 7 years old, like maybe some of us did, or had ideas for games, and now he's unearthed those documents and he's going to make that game, but he's also going to do a documentary about it, and he's going to have tutorials on how to make your own NES game. So it's like the trilogy of like creativity for people that wanted to get it. So they were successfully funded. I think they raised about $46,000 to $48,000 from their $35,000 goal, which is cool. There's a couple other ones that I've donated to. Jenny LeClue, which is kind of a bit of a, I don't want to say a Carmen Sandiego, but it's like a mystery Nancy Drew kind of point-and-click adventure that looks pretty cool. I also donated something called The Shyness, which is like a top-down, three-quarter perspective RPG. Earthness, which is another one that looks very much like a Dreamcast RPG, is what I've donated to. Pixel Noir was another one that I donated to. I don't know if it was successful, though. No, it did not get successfully funded.
See,
it was like an 8-bit RPG mystery.
What's funny is I've not heard of any of those. See, here's the thing.
Wow.
Here's the thing I find.
Surprisingly, because you funded every other one.
I know, right? Here's the problem I find with this whole Kickstarter thing is there's a lot of people that go unnoticed, like this. Like I didn't hear about any of those games, and you hadn't really heard about the Adventures of Pip. It's kind of I feel like there's probably a better way to do this. And one of our guests on one of our earlier shows kind of brought this up, and I'll go ahead and get your all's take on it too. He thought that Steam would probably be the best venue to start doing something like this, like to take over the games from the Kickstarter, because they already kind of have the green light thing.
Yeah, they have a green light kind of thing, which puts like big spotlight on indie kind of games. It's really hard. It comes down to like I think there's got to be mediator sites where you're like, okay, if you're on Kickstarter, these are the sites you go to try to get a little bit more notice so they can spread the word. I mean, that's kind of what publications and news feeds and communities like what we have going on between all of us and should be spreading the word a bit more. So I mean, I try not to post too much because I feel like I inundate as it is just to kind of get the word out. But I really do believe in a lot of the projects that I do share because I think they look cool. So it's just, but we all know like Facebook and Twitter really dialed down their reach on stuff. So it's really hard to say how much is too much to get the word out on this stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
And this may be, I don't know, an uneducated complaint, but it is not that I'm not excited for this game, but I think about Mighty Number 9. I mean, you got a guy like Inafune who probably could be picked up by any developer. I just wonder why he went through Kickstarter. I mean, I'm sure the guy's got money, right? I mean, I don't know. Part of me thought, I'm not going to fund that because, I mean, it's the guy developed Mega Man. I mean, why does he need Kickstarter? I don't know. I always thought Kickstarter is more for people who are kind of unheard of, maybe, trying to get something going. I don't know.
Go ahead.
Oh, I just had a little problem with that myself. I'm very excited about Mighty Number 9. Can't wait to play it, but I just thought someone could have picked him up without that avenue.
It's a bunch of stuff, though, right? Like, he wants to make the game. And as someone who's created a thing on Kickstarter, I could spend months or years pitching Nintendo Quest to studios and indie developers that, or production companies, and hope somebody believes in the project from me saying it, because of my track record, that yes, we'll give you the funding, but now we're doing something together and we got to share our visions. And now because they're putting more money maybe than my time or something, then I'd have to kind of listen to them. So by going on Kickstarter, and this even applies to guys like Zach Braff and some of the other big filmmaker actors who make a really decent living doing their craft, at least we get to do it the way that we want to do it, and we hope that what we show you or pitch you is enough for you to buy into that.
Yeah, I think that's really what the reasoning behind Inafune going through Kickstarter. I think if he would have been picked up by a development studio, I have a feeling that they would have had their hands too much into it, that we wouldn't be getting a Mighty Number 9. I think we would be getting something else.
Yeah, he may have been burnt by Capcom. I heard some funny stories about that anyways. I know the little poke they did at him when they did what was a fighting game where they put the Mega Man from the first NES box, so they kind of made him like an overweight old guy.
As one of the Tekken games.
Yeah, and I think that was kind of a stab at him. And I read some things about that. Maybe he just didn't want any part of that corporation kind of taking him.
Sure.
So, and I understand that. There's a heavy metal band I actually helped, I backed, and they have like 12 albums out, and they wanted it out of the record label so they could kind of get away from get away from all that stuff, all the controlling and whatever.
I mean, part of it too isn't just the money; it's the start of the marketing, the advertising. I mean, when we did Nintendo Quest, of course we needed money, but $15,000 is nowhere near what our budget is for the film. But it was a good start to get us where we go. But it was a great excuse to start the marketing for a film. And now, obviously, that didn't go to everyone, but a lot of people did see it. Just not everyone.
What you're saying, Rob, I think it also, independence I would rank as the number one reason, but number two would be to gauge the interest of the public. If they don't want to see it, they won't fund it.
And that's a good thing too, because a lot of people, and I think that's a great thing, because not everything first should go on Kickstarter, even though it can go on Kickstarter. Certain projects are much more successful, whether we're talking about a game or jewelry or movies. Certain projects are much more successful on Kickstarter than they are, doing something else. So not everything should be on there. And sometimes it's that wake-up call. It's like, oh, why didn't I get funded? Well, maybe I need to go back and rethink my concept. Like I'm starting a documentary that I can't really say too much about, but I will be doing a Kickstarter project for it, and you guys will see it on Facebook and my other social media. I don't know if it's going to get funded. I mean, it's cool that I got a little bit of a following and people know me from Nintendo Quest, but it's not like the same kind of thing. It doesn't have like a big subculture, like fandom base around it like Nintendo Quest does. So I'm on the fence about it, but there are other goals with this Kickstarter, mainly marketing, as well as like money and independence. So even if it does not get funding, I will still have achieved those other things by virtue of being on Kickstarter for X number of days.
Cool. So this has turned into a really interesting conversation, not about Shovel Knight.
Well, no, it is, because it's how Shovel Knight got it started, right? We've talked about Shovel Knight being a love letter to all this stuff, where it got its inspiration. Now we're talking about other indie games that have gone the same route, and how they got there, and it all goes back to Kickstarter, because without Kickstarter, we wouldn't have had Shovel Knight. Yeah. And are we getting diluted now with too many indie games that are going that way? Because a lot are getting funded.
Could be. I don't know. You don't have to. I mean, you don't have to buy it. That's
No, you don't.
To
But
buy
I
it,
think we will all say that you should buy this game because for what, $15, you're going to get your money's worth. It's fun, and then you're going to know what the hell we've been talking about. Sorry, that's probably another swear word. You're going to know what the heck we're talking about for the last 45 minutes.
What are we gonna do? So much editing. No, I'm just kidding. Not editing.
We have different curves, like north of Tennessee, evidently.
Oh,
Yeah.
Tennessee, we're in the Bible Belt, so
Yeah, well,
you can't say those words.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I
well-
lived in Texas for a while, right? And that and more was all free game.
Yeah. Well, I live in West Virginia. It's even worse. There's a lot of things that.
I apologize, guys. I was just
Oh.
brought up in a different society.
Canada, right?
True story, eh?
Hey.
So you guys want to? We got one question. You want to field the question for Russ? We got to answer Russ's question here.
Go ahead, throw it out there, Michael.
Here,
I don't, Russ.
Selecting Russ's question. All right.
I've got it pulled up.
It says, okay, Justin, go ahead and read it.
Hey guys, I've been holding off on getting this even though it looks amazing. I am torn between getting it for my Wii U or for my 3DS. Any pros and cons you have for each to help me decide? Thanks a bunch.
Well, Russ, I would say it's got to be played on the big old screen. That's what I say.
Now, a question for the Wii U version: is there a like a save state type of system? Like if you close your Wii U, turn it off, turn it back on, does it come back up like like a virtual console game would? Like
It does not do like the 3DS in that you can't.
Say.
It doesn't come right back up, but it saves very frequently. Like as soon as you exit a level or finish a level or die.
Yeah.
It
Any
saves
event.
immediately.
It saves after any event. I would be curious to see the 3DS version just because I know on the Wii U gamepad you have your inventory on the bottom. And a few times I'm like looking down and looking up, especially during some of the boss battles, to use some of the items. And I think that might be a little bit easier on the 3DS because you're already looking in the same general vicinity versus like having to like kind of go like that and hope that you're touching the right thing. But I do agree with Michael. Yeah, there you go. I do agree with Michael that it is really nice to have it on the old big screen, especially when it comes time to jumping all those platforms.
Yeah. But that awesome 3D effect on the DS, right? I mean,
Yeah, I hate it.
I'm
I never use it.
kidding.
No, you honestly you can't go wrong with either one. I'd say just buy it. I mean, it depends. Do you play games on the go a lot, or do you play them at home? If you play them at home, get it on the Wii U. If you play on the go a lot, get it on the 3DS.
And if you got buddies, then I think it's a good kind of in the living room with your friends games. Like everybody kind of take their turn playing around, and you'll have a lot of fun with it. Whether it invokes nostalgia or not, it's challenging enough, but it's a cool kind of pass the controller around as well kind of game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this may be a topic for another day, but the whole notion of you have to buy it on both and all this stuff. People complain about all the time. I honestly don't mind buying it on both. I would probably pay $30 to have it on both if I could just keep my save passed back and forth.
Yeah, if you could cloud save it, if you could use the cloud to cross play, which is what they do on the Sony side, right? With Vita and PS3, some of the cross play games.
That's something that I really wish you could do, but it's a small complaint.
Yeah, and I haven't played the Wii U version. I will say this. I don't like playing this game with the analog stick on the DS. I hate where the D-pad is on the regular DS. I haven't played the XL, so I kind of my natural instinct is to go to the analog stick, whatever you want to call that, and I'm all the time power because like if you're trying to go right, I accidentally hit up in the attack button and I waste some of my potions and junk. So I really like where the D-pad's positioned on the Wii U controller. So I think that. If you're not going to be traveling, definitely get the Wii U version, in my opinion, even though I haven't played it yet. So.
The XL D-pad is not in a much better position.
Okay.
It really cramps my thumb.
Yeah, I hate that.
It's way below. I don't know.
And the whole idea of it clicking, like they kind of introduced that with the Game Boy Advance SP, and I really don't like that. I don't like the D-pad to click when you do up, down, left, right. Kind of like where you can kind of roll it a little better than that. So, not a big fan of the 3DS digital pad.
All right, well, I guess we have our verdict. The Wii U is the way to go. And
unless you travel a lot, you should go.
And then just get both.
Yeah. Or if you love that 3D effect, if you really like that, get the 3D version.
All right, so that was our only question. We have a couple viewers. Does anybody want to ask us a question real quick? Otherwise, we're going to probably start wrapping it up.
Yeah, there's a button, if you don't know where it is, it just says ask a question, then you get to type it in.
Yep. All right. Well,
3, 2, 1. All right, that's it. Cut off.
Whoa.
Jesus. Gosh.
So
You're
here's
welcome
a little bit more conversation. We didn't touch on this very much, and I want to bring it up just because I think it's so epic.
Post-Golem Talk with Nick.
The music. My goodness, the music.
oh wow! Yeah, I can't believe we didn't even bring that up.
I know the original one of the original Mega Man composers donated their talents to a few of the tracks on here, but really like the music. The one level in particular, I think it was called the Lich Yard, I believe. It was kind of like the where the graveyard and everything was. That track, whenever I found that little scroll and took it back to the whatever that dude was, the Bard, I listened to that over and over and over again. Love that track. So I thought that every song on this game to me was just golden. It really brought back years when I play even like indie games. Nothing's memorable anymore, and maybe it's just when I'm getting older, my memory's not there. But I just don't have. I can't whistle a tune for modern games like I can some of these old games. But with this game, man, I turn on one of these songs and just it's there. I think it was some of the best music I've heard in a long time.
Yeah, I totally agree. Huge shout out to Jake Kaufman, who does the music in this game. He's really awesome, and what makes him even more awesome is on his Bandcamp website. He offered a lot of his music for donate only, as in you can get it for free if you wanted to, or you can just donate whatever you want. And he's got a lot of
the
good
Shovel
stuff
Knight soundtrack.
Yeah, including
Shovel Knight soundtracks. Yeah.
So it's really awesome that he does that, and all of his stuff is really good. He also uses probably my favorite NES sound, which is like that wave. It sounds like a wave. It's like or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, and like when you listen to some of the old Capcom tunes, they use the percussion a lot more than some of the other developers, in my opinion. Like there's almost like different levels and different pitches of the percussion. You think about Mega Man games, like all that craziness, and there's a lot of that in here, and I really thought that was awesome.
I agree. So what are our final thoughts? Since there aren't any segments or sign-offs and no retrofitted trophies for this modern game, unless we're doing that, what are our final thoughts? How do you want to wrap this up, Michael?
Is it a gym? Oh wait, wrong podcast.
No, wrong. No, I guess we could still do the Two Dudes rating system.
Oh my, I'm so bad at this.
Let's see. For us, would it be? Is it 1080p? No, then it's not good. That's how we rank our games.
That's not the Two Dudes
30 frames per
way of doing things. Justin,
30 frames,
give us a category. Justin, you haven't talked all. Give us a category that we can put this game.
I'm going to say a gardening tool.
Okay.
Shovel.
But okay, right. So a shovel's too easy, so we won't go. No, nobody's allowed to use shovel. Let's see. I guess I'll start us off. I'm going to go with a rake because this game needs to be raking in the dough. Everybody needs to buy this game, and it's awesome. It's a general purpose. Next to the shovel, since we can't use the shovel because it's too obvious. Next to the shovel,
afraid to say what I think this game is because I think it's gonna have to get censored.
What kind of gardening tool are you using, Rob?
Really?
I think it's a bit of a hoe. Gardening hoe.
Okay, that's as long as you're not talking.
Well, I think maybe there's some crossover, but I don't want to get into too graphic. But it could double as a shovel. It's a hoe is very good at digging and stuff. So this is like Shovel Knight is like NES games. This is like the second kind of best thing there is out there since we're not using that.
Yeah, okay, I could go with that. I almost thought about doing a mattock too because a mattock's a really good digging tool.
Yeah.
Not quite a shovel, but it's really good digging deep holes like this.
Okay.
So.
I'll be honest. I don't know a lot of gardening tools, so if it wasn't shovel or hoe, then I would have been out.
So is it my turn?
Yep.
Nick, it's your turn.
we're gonna go with the old self-propelled lawnmower, and the reason is that's the top of the line push mower. You know, push mower is kind of the old technology, so it's top of the line that not quite the new technology of like a zero-turn riding mower. So it's definitely top of the line retro. We'll say that.
Oh, you know what? I could have changed mine.
That's really good.
Whoa!
Money.
Money in the bank, y'all. Money in the bank.
Oh, it's good.
Justin, would you like to give it a rating?
Yes. I'm going to give it a motorized tiller. And the reason is because I've never used a motorized tiller, but it looks awesome. And it looks like it would make my life a lot better.
I like it. That's good, Justin.
Okay.
Solid.
Yeah.
Yep,
They're not that much fun to use. You
No.
Make your
Thank you for
hands really sore.
Thank you for crapping on my point, Michael.
Much like this game. No. It fits because it makes your hands really sore.
Okay, I'm changing mine. I'm changing mine. That's it. I'm saying it's like a spade, okay, which is like a small shovel.
Oh.
But you're forced to get in there dirty and do like the intricate work, like the platforming of this. But it's also portable enough that you can take it on the go, like the 3DS version.
Ooh.
Okay.
See, and there's some cool similarities. You say Spade, I think of David Spade in the movie Joe Dirt. You know, Life's a Garden, dig it.
Boom! I like it. The connection. It's officially a gem. It's officially a gem.
Jim.
No, we don't do gyms on this show. Get out of here.
It's a gem. Woo!
Jim.
It's a 1080p gem.
All right. Let's wrap this up. You guys, I'll let you guys shout your stuff out. Rob, you
Go ahead,
go
Nick.
first.
Oh, you want me to go first?
Or okay, Nick goes first. I don't care.
Yeah, save the best for last.
Go at the same time.
I'll go with,
So yeah, you can check me out. I am one of the hosts at Genesis Gems. It's a game-by-game Sega Genesis podcast. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/Genesis Gems podcast. I also co-host another show that's been kind of on a hiatus for a while, called the 90s Entertainment Show, facebook.com/NES podcast. We're supposed to be recording soon, but I've been saying that for about a month now. So check that out. We got some pretty quality episodes. Rob's been on the show twice, so that's always a plus. So there you
Mark
go.
Michael's
quality.
never been on the show.
Oh yeah, that's true.
All right, I'm Rob McCallum, director of Nintendo Quest, an upcoming documentary set to hit screens and home theaters across the world in 2015. You can check out more on that film at facebook.com/the-NES Club. And I'm also one of the co-hosts of GamerCast, nesclub.podomatic.com, where you can hear more of my hijinks and my apparent cursing anytime.
Coin sounds. Hey Rob, I had a question. Is this worth any money now since you guys aren't Nintendo Quest anymore? Check it out.
Well, I think that's like one of the teaser release posters, buddy. It's the equivalent of it's the equivalent of Revenge of the Jedi.
Oh, okay.
So it's cool.
You gotta send me one of the new posters then, right?
Well, we'll see about that. We can't give everything away for free.
Well, hey.
We didn't have enough backers.
Oh, thanks, Michael.
If I knew you had a really cool poster, which you just now released, you didn't have that back in the backer days.
No, it's true, we didn't.
He does have really cool shirts, which I did buy. Go check those out. Teespring.
Those are like a one of a kind too. You can go to Teespring/Nintendo Quest T-shirts or something like that, and get them. We had a big legal dispute with Nintendo, and I think they're back up now. But those 10 or 17 that sold were like going to be like the only kind, and they threatened to sue us again. But long story short, I think
wow.
Yeah, so if you want a Nintendo Quest T-shirt, these will probably be the last ever because we don't want to keep going through this legal battle with Teespring's lawyers and Nintendo's lawyers and our lawyers because we can't afford it because we don't make any money on the T-shirts. We just want people to have them.
Yeah, it's been a real cool promotion for you guys because everyone always asks me, "Is that a band?" Playing what your movie is.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So there you go.
And it's like yes, it's a band and a gem.
Yeah. Yeah. This guy plays for Green Day.
Once, twice, maybe 5 times.
So cool.
Justin,
Michael.
can you shout ourselves out for me?
Okay.
He's patiently sitting.
Oh boy. We are on every social media outlet out there. Facebook, Twitter, whatever, what have you. We are also, you can always find us on nesdudes.com. We also have a new domain name. We are also it's 2 dudes and an S, right?
Yep. twodudesinaNest.com.
twodudesinaNest.com. We own that as well. So check us out.
So, have you guys decided? It's definitely Nests. Two dudes in a nest.
Oh, it's Nest. It's been Nest from the beginning.
Okay.
It's
I'm
just all
sorry.
these other people.
It's 10% of people across the world, but that's okay.
Hey, we
What would I know about the subject?
hung our hat on Ness, and we're not taking it off.
No, you know what? It's okay because there are some people that we interview in the documentary that say it the wrong way, but it's okay.
Michael's not
I'm just
laughing.
kidding. I know. He's like crossover episode, worst idea ever.
Genesis does. Oh, Genesis does what Nintendo don't.
Oh, here we go.
Man.
This has been awesome, Michael. I appreciate you entertaining me in my my coffee-fueled brain and antics.
Yeah, no problem. I appreciate you dealing with my need to go to bed an hour ago antics. Anyways.
Yeah,
So,
thanks, Michael.
It's been fun.
Thanks for having me on.
I hope you guys enjoyed listening to us chat about Shovel Knight and Kickstarter and I don't know. Rob and I apparently are starting to develop a rivalry.
I like it. Well, you've already started. You started that rivalry long ago, sir, with your Podomatic Top 10 rivalry.
Ooh.
Oh, hang on. Let me just. I'm gonna put this puppy to bed right now. All right.
Let's see,
Oh, here we go.
let's see how we're
Are
doing.
you ready?
Here we go.
All right.
I can't wait.
Justin and I have two feeds, right? We have a Podomatic feed and we have an HD feed, which is not on Podomatic. So only half of our downloads come from Podomatic. The other half, like 500-600 downloads, come from this other feed. So Podomatic doesn't even get to capture that first set of numbers. So we're actually double. So we're probably at number one every week. We just we don't want you guys to feel bad.
I don't think Stitcher captures everything to Podomatic either, right?
No.
We crush it on Stitcher. We crush it. So I mean, we're easily number one. I mean, we don't even need Podomatic. That's just kind of like the Mercy numbers that are reporting.
Okay, well, I mean, I won't even get into our Stitcher numbers. I didn't even want to go there.
And the best part is, I mean, we release bi-weekly, and you guys have to release every week.
Well, you release
So pick
like
your
weekly
poison
now.
if you're still. No,
You throw up these curse-filled hangouts nowadays.
We're going to some hashtag battles.
where people show up. There's a difference with this one already.
Oh.
I'm not used to the silent crowd. I don't know how to handle this. I'm waiting for the sound effect to blare in my ear at this point. I'm just kidding. The cool thing is with podcasts, you got lots of different flavors, and you can pick your poison. I actually do like the Two Dudes in a Nest a lot because it's. I like the structure, the different segments you guys have. The retrofitted trophies is my favorite, next to trivia, and it's really cool to hear some of the stuff, especially when you think you know a little bit about every game, and then to hear like the inside corner stuff that you don't really think about. So that's cool. I urge you guys to keep doing more, so we can get to the end of the library sooner. Because right now you're like 20 years out.
That's true. Yeah. So, all right. I guess I can take the take that with a grain of salt. I can untie my noose now that I don't feel so let down by the lack of interactivity on our live event. Yeah, our listeners on the East Coast, they're in bed. Sorry.
I get it.
I'm just kidding. You got love your show too. I listen to it every time it comes up. I mean, that's.
Don't lie. You don't have to make me feel good. I don't need your pity plug.
I do skip some of the hangouts for all the cursing.
Cursing. Oh, that's right. I forget when we get animated.
Animated.
Rockin' and awesome. It like hurts your ears.
I just have to make sure I don't listen to those at work.
Yeah.
I got kids to worry about.
You go,
I'm gonna-
kids?
well,
Oh yeah, that's true.
They're not all gems, Nick. They're not all gems.
That's true. You know, where's the Sega love? We love Genesis Gems on this show, right? No.
Yeah.
I love Genesis Gems. Yeah,
That's good. You were on the show a couple times. So.
that's why I love it. I don't ever get invited to any other shows except for Genesis Gems.
And I love the '90s entertainment shows, the ones I appear on.
True. Those were some good episodes. Honestly,
They
our
were funny.
Our stats are much higher on those two than the other ones. So there you go, buddy. Just for you. So we should just have you on every show. I'll just kick Ryan off. We'll never know.
5 a.m. all the time. No, I want to hear more of Mariah Carey.
Yeah, a poor guy. He has the worst internet in the world.
Okay, we should probably wrap this up.
Yeah.
Okay, wrap it up.
It's been fun.
Yeah, let me ask 20 more questions before we wrap. No, I'm teasing.
Okay, we can play a round of 20 questions. Yeah. Yes, no. Is it a boy? Is it a girl?
It's a girl.
All right. Good night, everyone. Good night. Thank you for listening.
Catch you later.
Later.
Peace.
Hey, Justin. I don't know if you noticed, but there's a severe lack of boxes in there.
I know. It looks nice.
See a Donatello little carrying a candy case or something.
It's Leonardo.
It's Leonardo.
Colors on your cameras are off.
Colors in your eyes are on.
That's actually true. They are.
I'm sorry.
That's not my fault. I grew up always thinking I liked Donatello when in fact I like Leonardo.